it works. It works as an ending, and you can see how it gives you a little bit of hope. And the book kind of like beats you down a little bit. Will Graham doesn't come out so well.
It's interesting picking apart this film a little bit more. Michael Mann, do you like? Are you a fan of his in general? Is this a filmmaker? It's funny. He took 3 years to develop this film, and as we get into the next subject of development of art and how long it takes, he's a guy who takes his time. It doesn't seem to do things just to do them. You know. What about Michael's work? What about his aesthetic? Is it in general something that appeals to you?
Yeah, in general, yeah. I think there is a danger when you're doing a film like this to having whoever's breathing down your neck to choose music and hairdos and wardrobe. It is definitely an '80s film. There are some great soundtrack choices. Don't get me wrong. Some of the soundtrack works. Some of the choices, the songs really works. There's a bunch that kind of '80s synthesizer. Drumulator sound that makes my skin crawl, but
it's funny. The Reds, the group that did some of the cuts here, they said, I was reading an interview and one of the guys said, "Yeah, we were really inspired by Comfortably Numb." There is a song in this film called Will's Theme, which is fucking Comfortably Numb. I mean, it's note for note.
Sure, it's steel.
When you talk about music in the '80s and that kind of thing, like Miami Vice and Michael Mann, they really gave a shit about music. You know how music matched into the image. It's kind of cool that he really has a great ear for music. Michael Mann, it seems like he cares. Tangerine Dream. I don't know if you saw Thief.
Yes.
Another, for those of you who like great soundtracks, Tangerine Dream, the soundtrack for Thief. Beautiful film. Beautiful film. Can you go to the movie and not get distracted by the music? I mean, we'll get into this a little bit. The ear of your musical art doesn't get in the way. You as a musician and an artist of music.
Sometimes the soundtracks can be kind of, I can see, well, I've been to films where the film itself, maybe the script was not as strong as it could be, and you watch people squirm in their seats when they hear a Devo song come on, and you can tell, they probably put that song in there because this scene sucks. Distracted by the romantics. Oh, what I like about you, whatever. Like, oh, cool. This scene's great. No, it's not. So yeah, it's a little distracting. I notice it more than I think I might have.
It's interesting because a lot of film students learn that a piece of music can make a good film bad. I think that's bullshit, quite frankly. It's a bad lesson, a way to learn. Talk a little bit more about your art and moving images. Thinking of you as a guest for this series, to me you're the perfect guest because your work is so, you know, the world of all the bands you've midwifed. The visuals are important. And I was trying to find the right word. I think it's midwife. But be that as it may, how important are visuals? I know it all starts with the music, but how important are the visuals to your legacy as a musical artist?
I think they're kind of, you can't really separate them. They're joined at the hip. Everything, especially with, I guess with all three bands, really. But especially with the new project, with everything kind of tying in with animation, with some of the visual arts. You saw Meets Meyer's work up on this last.
Meets is amazing. Yeah.
But everything, just not just the music though. We have more than just film and animation and music. There's also characters attached to it, so you can kind of develop almost like a storyline of people. So we're kind of writing little scripts on the side, and then scrambling to try to connect them together because we didn't really think about that before we started writing the characters. It's quite an exercise. But yeah, I think the visuals are definitely imperative.
This is not a plug, but who in here has not seen a Puscifer show yet? Saturday?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on.
Saturday.
I'm going to.
just to get to the, because you're taking it now, performance stage, into this new dimension with like characters and burlesque and Mila as part of it, and it's amazing.
Tina Martina.
Amazing. To go back a little bit in history, I think visuals have always been an exciting part of your work with Tool and Perfect Circle. I mean, when you and your circle think of the visual design, how long does that take? Is that a stressful process, or is that a liberating process?
Well, with Puscifer, it usually starts with Matt and I have a joke in mind. It's not very funny, but I think it's funny. So we start an entire concept around a video, and we write a song around the video and the idea and the joke, and then hopefully it works.
It's like sketch writing, yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how we put it together. A lot of it has to do with and I don't think any of those things you're able to separate those things. So you kind of think of when the wall was written as if it was like one actual moment in time that actually and it all just kind of laid out in front of you. No, it was a lifetime of kind of putting those pieces together. And they might be pieces that they took from various decades of their life that kind of end up fitting together in some way. So I think that's kind of how I kind of put a lot of these things together. It's reference points spread over a lifetime.
Have you ever seen The Wall in concert?
Yes.
What do you think of The Wall as a concert experience?
I enjoyed it. I think it's just, and especially coming from a point of view of understanding production and understanding what it took to get that thing in a building. One of our friends who works with Puscifer was the stage manager on one of those tours, and they had every door in an arena, stadium, every path in was being used to bring in bricks and people and gear, rigging, it was just, I don't know how many semi-trucks. Kitty, do you know how many semi-trucks were on that? 26 semi-trucks to build the wall. So just the logistics attached to that are staggering. So when you walk in, for those of you who've worked on a set or building some elaborate big Hollywood blockbuster, that's really daunting just to actually walk onto that set and just imagine what happened to get you there. And it's even more daunting when you walk onto the empty space to start to build it. How the fuck are we going to do this?
It seems like the history books say that construction and set design was one of your bits of inertia, even to come out to Los Angeles.